Hey there, everybody, and welcome back to Frank's Comic Castle. My name is Daniel, and today I'm going to do another haul video. Now, no, it's not the Summer Pickups Part 3. That'll be coming later. This is just a miniature haul of 6 movies that I have picked up recently, or that I have gotten recently from orders. And for the first time in a long time, it's a non-horror haul. None of these 6 movies are, or yeah, you can consider one as a horror movie, but pretty much it's a non-horror haul. 3 Blu-rays and 3 DVDs, and I think we should just get into it without further ado, because this is really some nice, exciting movies. And first up is classic Escape from New York with Lee Van Cleef, Ernest Borgnine, Donald Pleasence, Kurt Russell, and it's made by John Carpenter. Of course, you have Donald Pleasence and Kurt Russell in it. Absolute classic. I haven't seen this movie in 35 years at least. So I'm really excited. So this is a bare bones DVD, as you can see. I'm really excited to get into this movie. I could have gotten this in a nicer Blu-ray edition or something like that, but I figured, it was like $2. So yeah, for $2, I'm not expecting much, except for the movie itself. Do have a small bonus documentary, so you get something. I'm perfectly okay with it. Looking forward to watching this a movie that I haven't seen, as I said, probably 35 years. Really excited, though. Next up is the original Dracula from 1931. The original Dracula movie. Yes, there were vampire movies made prior to 1931, but this was the first movie where you had Dracula with the famous Bela Lugosi as the titular Dracula. Now, obviously, this is also available in other nicer formats, and you can get like a really nice 4K edition or Blu-ray and all that good stuff. There's the disc itself, but this was also $2. How can I pass it up for a classic like this from 1931? Obviously part of the universal horror genre, I should say, with Frankenstein and the Invisible Man and Wolfman and all that great stuff. So I'm really looking forward to watching this. I haven't seen it before. Yeah, Dracula from 1931 with Bela Lugosi. Okay, here we go. The final DVD of this haul is the most controversial movie, and one that is very, very controversial overall. And I'm talking about Twilight Zone, the movie. Why is this movie controversial? Because Vic Morrow here, and 2 young child actors died during the shooting of this movie. There was a scene where Vic Morrow was in the Vietnam War, and there was a scene he was saving two children running over like a rice field, and a helicopter above them. Unfortunately, very unfortunately, there were 2 high and too close explosions. The explosions were too close to the helicopter. The helicopter went down, and the rotor blades, unfortunately, it pretty much decapitated Vic Morrow and the 2 kids, the 2 children. So obviously that's incredibly sad and incredibly horrible. And the director John Landis and Joe Dante, I think, they were put on trial for this, but they got away, so to say. They didn't go to jail for murder. They were accountable for it, at least. But so that scene has obviously been taken out of the movie. Now, there's a television show called Cursed Films that it has 2 seasons. And in the first season, there's an episode about that incident and about this movie. And this came out in 1983, so it's celebrating, or it has its 40th anniversary. So obviously, if this movie hadn't had the controversy it did, we would have seen a beautiful box set collector's edition celebrating the 40th anniversary of Twilight Zone, the movie. We're never going to do that. I don't think we're ever going to do that. There's a bare bones disc, unless they release a anniversary edition and all the proceeds goes to the friends and family and relatives of the 3 victims. That would be one thing, because I don't think John Landis and Joe Dante should get any money for this. But so I came by this. I'm really happy that I did, because there hasn't been a new printing on Blu-ray or DVD since like 2005, 2006, maybe 2008 of this. And will there ever be another printing, another release of this? Probably not. I remember seeing this as a child as well, at least, once again, probably 30, 35 years ago. At the time, I thought this was a great movie. I only remember certain parts of it, bits and pieces, sort of say. As I said, it's been probably 35 years since I've seen it. So, looking forward to watching it, even though it has, the sad reality of it. So those are the DVDs. Let's go through those again. Twilight Zone, the movie. Dracula from 1931, An Escape from New York. Let's get into the Blu-rays. First up is a classic 1990s movie with Jeff Bridges and Tommy Lee Jones, and I'm talking about Blown Away. This is the Spanish edition, so it says Volar por los aires. Sorry for the pronunciation, probably horrible. There's the disc art. But this is another movie that was quite difficult to come by. So that's probably why I got the website I bought it from only had apparently only the Spanish edition. Here we go. So you see this cover. Then you have this cover, which is like painted. That's so much greater than this, Compare it. Right? You want that one. That looks much better. The disc, the classic 90s one. Really looking forward to watching it. I think I've seen it before, but I've been wanting to get it for quite some time. I love Jeff Bridges. I love Tommy Lee Jones, so you can't go wrong with Tommy Lee Jones as a craze bomber. So, okay, finishing up with 2 movies from one of the greatest directors of all time. I'm talking about Martin Scorsese, and I'm talking about The Color of Money. The Color of Money is such a good movie, thanks to Paul Newman. And Paul Newman won the Oscar for Best Leading Actor in this movie. In this movie, well deserved. This is a movie that sort of gotten. It doesn't get the love it deserves. It's almost been, it isn't talked about that much. It's almost forgotten, I think. Paul Newman, man, he really makes this movie. Yeah, Tom Cruise is in this movie, and this is when Tom Cruise was still good, not insane and crazy. This is a young Tom Cruise. But Man, Paul Newman in this movie, he makes this movie. This is, to me, it's an absolute masterpiece. It's a must-see. Fortunately, here in Sweden, you can't, yeah, it is unfortunate. You can't stream this anywhere. It was on Disney Plus, but they took it away for some reason. I don't know why. But got it on Blu-ray. It's available in Steelbook edition. I'm not going to pay too much for a Steelbook edition, especially when you don't get too much extras and stuff like that. And here we have the disc art. Really, no art. It's just bare bones DVD. You don't get what it looks like. No extra features whatsoever. That's sad. That's really sad. But it's an excellent. It's not just an excellent. It's a brilliant movie by Martin Scorsese and especially Paul Newman. I'm a huge fan of Paul Newman. He's such a great actor. Okay, the final movie, another Martin Scorsese movie, and this is one of the greatest pieces of cinema in history. I'm talking about Goodfellas. Now, this movie you can get in some very cool, special, limited run collector's editions. I went for the standard Blu-ray here. You do get some quite a good of extras here, as you can see. You can freeze that and read it. You can close in on it. When you think of this movie, you think that this movie probably won like 1,000 Oscars. It only won one. That was for Joe Pesci for Best Supporting Actor. It didn't get like Best Director, Best Movie, or lead role or stuff like that. Nothing. That year, 1991, was the big winner was Dancing with Wolves. Unfortunately, this movie is much better. Now you can find this on streaming services pretty much everywhere. Here you have the disc art. Sorry. You can find it streaming pretty much everywhere, but I wanted really to have it. I watched it earlier this year. It's so freaking great. It's an absolute masterpiece. It's one of the great movies. It's 2.5 hours long, but it's 2.5 hours that just fly by. It's such amazing directing, such amazing acting, and I urge everyone, go ahead and watch this. You should watch this at least a couple of times a year because it's that good. And it has everything. It has action, it has thriller, it has comedy. It's an absolute masterpiece. Not just one of the greatest mafia gangster movies. It's one of the greatest movies of all time. And obviously deserves to be like in the top 10 of great movies. And yeah, I'm so happy to have this. Now there's this beautiful like actual box set of this movie, special limited edition. I think it was like 2,000 copies. I'm really considering getting that because it's worth it, but we'll see. I'm really considering it because, yeah, it deserves all the accolades and all the recognition and everything it gets. It's one of the greatest movies of all time. So those were the Blu-rays. Blown Away, Color of Money, and Goodfellas, along with the DVDs that I previously mentioned, Dracula, Escape from New York, and Twilight Zone. So that's the tiny haul of 6 movies. I will be back with my Summer Pickups Part 3. That's going to be a longer video because I realized I have a ton of movies to show you on Blu-ray and DVD, and maybe I should cut that into 2 parts. I also picked up 2 beautiful books that I'm going to show off, but that's all in the next haul video, my Summer Pickups Part 3. Hope you enjoyed this one. Please subscribe. Give me a thumb up, comment down below. I'm doing this for you. But until next time, stay safe and have a good one. Bye, everybody.